Good morning, children. Welcome back to mathematics class. Hope you all are taking a good care of yourself. So let us start today's class. This is class 10th, subject mathematics, chapter number 7, coordinate geometry. This is summary lecture. Children, do you know I told you that this complete chapter I am going to finish in two summary lectures. As there are four derivations, so first two derivations, one was of distance formula, another was of section formula. Those I have taught you in my previous summary lecture. Now today I will be proceeding further with the rest of the two derivations. Fine, students? So children, in today's summary lecture, the topics which I am going to make you recall, they are number 1, derivation of area of triangle and some problems based on it. And the second topic is derivation of finding the coordinates of the centroid of the triangle. Fine, students? Children, as you all are aware with the formula of area of triangle, that is half into base into height. But children, as we are going to deal with the Cartesian plane and with the coordinate geometry, so I am going to teach you some different derivation of area of triangle when the coordinates of its vertices are given. Fine, students? So let us start. What is given in this question basically before we go for the derivation of area of triangle? We must be having three vertices given, that is A, B and C, along with the coordinates x1, y1, x2, y2 and x3, y3 of a triangle ABC. Fine, students. Now what we have to derive? What is the derivation basically? Before derivation you must know what you are going to derive. Fine, students. As I have just told you that I am going to derive the formula of area of triangle when the coordinates of its vertices are given. So the formula is half modulus x1 into y2 minus y3 plus x2 into y3 minus y1 plus x3 into y1 minus y2 modulus closed square units. Children, you know that area is always calculated in square units. And I told you the way also to learn it. What was that way? This is 1, 2, 3. You have to just keep 3 digits in your mind and you have to move in the same order. This is 1, 2, 3. First I have written 1, 2, 3. Then if I am going to take second first, so after second, third comes and then ultimately 1. So this is 2, 3, 1. Then if you are going to take third one first, then it should come 1 and 2. So this is 3, 1, 2. So this is the way to memorize this formula. Here is the Cartesian plane. You can see, children. Fine. See, basically we are just going to calculate the area of the triangle. So what I have done, I have just plotted 3 points. A, whose coordinates are x1, y1. B, whose coordinates are x2, y2. And C, x3, y3. Fine. Now I have joined them all because I wanted to calculate the area of this part, which is basically area of a triangle. Okay. So for that, children, I have just done some construction also. What is the construction? Draw AL, BM and CN perpendicular on x-axis, means from all the three vertices of a triangle, we are going to draw 3 perpendiculars. Correct, students? Okay. Now, when I am going to draw these particular perpendiculars, then children, you can observe one thing, that ABML has become a trapezium. There is a reason behind it. Basically, these perpendiculars were drawn in such a way so that they all should be parallel to each other. Means BM must be parallel to AL, AL must be parallel to CN. So we can say that BM is also parallel to CN. Okay. Children, you know that trapezium is a quadrilateral in which one pair of the opposite side is parallel. Correct. So as I know that BM is parallel to AL, but another pair is not parallel. So when only one pair of the opposite side is parallel, then that particular figure, or I should say the quadrilateral, is known as trapezium. So what can we say? That ABML, this complete part ABML has become a trapezium. Then BM and C, this is B, M and C, this has also become trapezium. Okay. Now let us talk about the third trapezium. This is AL and C. This has also become a complete trapezium. Correct, students? Now let us switch to its proof. what we are going to do before we start the proof. Children, as you know that here you can see that I have to calculate the area of this triangle only. Suppose if I am going to calculate the area of this trapezium, that is ABML, this complete ABML. Okay, and then I am going to add the area of the trapezium, that is ALNC, this complete. Means this complete I have added in this part. Okay, and then I am going to subtract the area of trapezium BMNC. Then definitely I will be getting this shaded region only, which is actually a triangle. Getting, students? Okay, so before we calculate area of trapezium, you must be knowing its formula. What is the formula to calculate area of trapezium? This is half into sum of length of parallel sides into distance between them. Fine, I repeat, half into sum of the length of the parallel sides into distance between them. Fine, students. So now I am going to calculate area of triangle. So area of triangle is equal to area of trapezium ABML plus area of trapezium ALNC minus area of trapezium BMNC. Correct, students? Now let us talk about ABML trapezium. This is ABML. Here you know that BM is parallel to AL. So they both are parallel sides. And what is the distance between them? That is ML. Correct, students? So what can I write? I can write half into BM plus AL into ML. Correct? Now plus, let us talk about next trapezium, that is ALNC. Here it is ALNC. Which pair is parallel? AL is parallel to CN. So what can I write? Half into AL plus CN into distance between them. That is what? LN. Here it is written. Half into AL plus CN into LN. Correct, students? Okay. Now I will be switching to trapezium number 3. That is what? That is BM and C. So I am going to subtract the area of this region now. I told you that BM is parallel to CN. So what should I write? Half into BM plus CN into distance between them. That is what actually? That is MN. Here it is written. You can just verify. This is minus half into BM plus CN into MN. Correct, students? Now these particular values I have to just insert in it so that I can I can go for the derivation of area of triangle. Okay. Now let us calculate these very values first of all. Please have a look. Again I am going to make you recall the same concept, that is x coordinate of a point is its perpendicular distance from y axis. For example, if I am going to talk about this x2, which is actually the x coordinate of point B. So x coordinate of a point is its perpendicular distance from y axis. So can I say that OM is equal to x2? This complete part is x2. In the same manner, can I say OL is equal to x1? In the same manner, can I say this complete ON is equal to x3? So how can I calculate, children, this LN? Of course, if I am going to subtract this OL from ON, then I can get LN. Okay, so what can I do? Can I write this x3 minus x1 to come to know about LN? Fine. Now let us talk about y coordinates. Y coordinate of a point is its perpendicular distance from x-axis. So this is y coordinate, that is y2. So what it would be? This is complete y2. So this complete will be y1 and of course this complete will be y3. Correct, students? Okay. So let us talk about now how to calculate ML. This is ML. Complete OL is x1. Complete OM is x2. So ML will be OL minus OM. That would be x1 minus x2. Fine, students. Now in the same manner you can calculate all those values which you basically require. All those dimensions you can calculate. So here I am going to put the values. It would be half into BM is y2 plus AL is y1. Have a look. BM. Where is BM? BM is y2. This is y2. Okay. And AL. This is complete y1. Into ML I have just told you. That is what? x1 minus x2. Here I have put. In the same manner, children, you have to put rest of the values also. Plus half into AL is y1 plus CN is y3. And ln is x3 minus x1. I have just calculated this also. Minus half into bm is y2 plus cn is y3 into mn is x3 minus x2. Fine. Now let us multiply them. It would be half into x1 into y2 minus x2 into y2 plus x1 into y1 minus x2 into y1 plus this half I have taken common. So half I have placed outside the bigger bracket. Now y1 into x3, look here. Again minus x1 into y1 plus x3 into y3 and minus x1 into y3. Now there is minus sign outside. So please take care about this minus sign because all the signs will be changed whatever terms are written inside the bracket. Okay. So this is y2 into x3 minus x2 into y2, then plus x3 into y3 minus x2 into y2. Correct, students? So this is all about it. Now children, here you can see this is also y2 x2 and one more y2 x2 is also present over here. Here it is. When this minus sign will enter inside the bracket, so it would become of plus, but this is of minus, so both are going to be cancelled. In the same manner, x1 y1 is with plus sign, x1 minus 1 is, x1 y1 is with minus sign, cancelled. Now x3 y3 is with plus sign, but this minus will enter inside the bracket, so it would become minus x3 y3. Again, both are going to be cancelled. So whatever are left, that I am going to show you now. Now children, we are left with half into x1 y2 minus x2 y1 plus x3 y1 minus x1 y3 plus x2 y3 minus x3 y2. Okay, fine. Now what I am going to do, children, I am going to take x1, basically those very terms together in which x1 is present. Here you can see this is x1 y2, this is x1 y3. Let us take x1 as common. Half will remain outside, it would become y2 minus y3 plus. Now this is x2 y1 because I have to pick those very terms in which x2 is present. So this is x2 y1 and another one is x2 y3. Let us take x2 as common. So y3 will be written first. Why? Because this is with plus sign, minus y1. Okay, plus. Now pick those very terms in which x3 is present. So these are those two terms. So x3 into y1 minus y2. This is y1 minus y2. Correct. Now children, this is basically the formula which we wanted, but only one thing is missing in that, that is the sign of modulus. Modulus sign is missing. What is the need of modulus sign? Basically modulus makes the value, suppose if the values are negative, modulus sign will make it positive. Modulus always used to give us the numerical value only irrespective of its sign. This I have told you earlier also. While substituting the values over here, suppose we will be having these numerical values given at place of x1, y2, y3 and so on. Then suppose if I am going to get this complete area as negative value, negative result, then we know that area can never ever be negative. So just to make that expression or that value positive, we are just going to substitute here modulus sign. But the area of the triangle cannot be negative. So we will insert which sign? Modulus sign. Okay. So now ultimately we have got area of triangle, that is half into modulus x1 into y2 minus y3 plus x2 into y3 minus y1 plus x3 into y1 minus y2 modulus closed. Fine, students? Okay. Now children, as I explained you the concept of collinearity for distance formula, in the same manner the concept of collinearity is present for area of triangle as well. What do you mean by collinear points? 3 or more than 3 points are said to be collinear if they lie on the same line. Here you can see that A, B, C are collinear points. Children, can you tell me, if the points are collinear, can they ever form triangle? No, they can never ever form a triangle. So that's why if the points are collinear, then area of triangle must be equal to 0 because no triangle will be formed. Correct? So I am going to take one problem based on this concept. Find the value of k for which the points are collinear. You will be having 3 points given. Through this, basically you will come to know how to calculate area of triangle using the given formula which I have just taught you, the derived formula. Okay, and ultimately we will be able to calculate the value of this unknown variable also. Why? Because points are collinear. If points are collinear, then we can say that area of triangle must be equal to 0. So let us put the values. First of all, you assume the given point as x1 comma y1, x2 comma y2 and x3 comma y3. Okay, now put the values in the formula. The formula is half modulus x1 into y2 minus y3 plus x2 into y3 minus y1 plus x3 into, this is x2 into y3 minus y1 plus x3 into y1 minus y2 modulus closed is equal to 0. Why did I put equal to 0? Because the points are collinear. Now put these very values over here. So after putting the values, I have got half modulus 8 into minus 4 plus 5 plus, at place of x2 I am writing k. Why? Because x2 is equal to k, into y3 minus y1, that is minus 5 minus 1 plus 2 into 1 plus 4 modulus closed is equal to 0. Now 8 into 1, after simplifying I have got here 1 plus k into minus 6 plus 2 into 5. So it would become half modulus 8 minus 6k plus 10 modulus closed is equal to 0. Let us simplify these terms. So I am going to get 8 plus 10, that is 18 minus 6k modulus, and this half will go on right hand side. It would become 2 by 1. 0 into 2 by 1. So that would give you 0 only. This is equal to 0. Now children, as I told you that modulus always gives the numerical values. Here we do not know what kind of numerical value will be produced because we do not know the value of k. So you have to just remove this modulus sign. We will be getting minus 6k plus 18 is equal to 0. It would be minus 6k is equal to, this is minus 18. So k is equal to 3. So through this question we have basically come to know the value of the unknown variable which is k using the concept of collinearity as well as area of triangle. Understood? Now children, I will be taking some more problems based on area of triangle. So this is find the area of triangle formed by joining the midpoints of the side of a triangle whose vertices are 0, minus 1, 2, 1 and 0, 3. Okay. And find the ratio of this area which we have got while joining the midpoint of the side of a triangle to the area of the given triangle. Okay. So what is given in this question? Let A 0, minus 1, B 2, 1 and C 0, 3 be the vertices of the triangle ABC, and M, N and P be the midpoint of AB, BC and CA respectively. I am going to show you the diagram, you will better understand. Here is the diagram of this question. You will be having a triangle given. ABC are the vertices of the triangle whose coordinates are 0, minus 1, 2, 1 and 0, 3. What we have to do? Basically, we will have to join the midpoints of the sides of the triangle. Here I have taken M as a midpoint of side AB, N as a midpoint of side BC and P as a midpoint of side AC. Children, in my previous lecture also I made you recall how to calculate the midpoints. So let us recall the formula. Suppose this is x1, y1, this is x2, y2 and I have to calculate the coordinate of this midpoint. So the formula is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Have a look on this diagram also. This is nothing but the diagram to calculate the coordinates of the midpoint. Because you know that when M will be known as the midpoint of the line segment AB, if it is going to divide the line segment in the ratio 1:1. Okay students. So it would be 0 plus 2 divided by 2. That would be 1 only. 1 plus minus 1 divided by 2 means that is 0 by 2. It would be 0 only, correct? So let us calculate all these three midpoints. Please be alert. If I am going to calculate the coordinate of n point and n lies on BC, so definitely I have to use the coordinate of B as well as C point only. Fine, students? So now the coordinate of the midpoint of AB are, I have just explained, 0 plus 2 divided by 2, 1 plus minus 1 divided by 2. It would be 2 upon 2, that is 1. This would become 0. 0 by 2 is 0. Fine. In the same manner, calculate the coordinate of the midpoint of BC now. BC, please have a look. Here, this is 2 plus 0 divided by 2, 1 plus 3 divided by 2. Look. So I have got 1, 2 as the midpoint of the line segment BC, or I should say that these are the coordinates of point N. Okay. Now the coordinate of midpoint of AC. AC, what was assumed as the point midpoint of AC? That was P. So let us do this. This is 0 plus 0 divided by 2. Here you can see in the diagram. This is 0 plus 0 divided by 2. 3 plus minus 1 divided by 2. So 3 plus into minus 1 will give you 3 minus 1 upon 2. So I have got 0, 1. Correct? Now children, one more thing is asked in the question, that we have to calculate the ratio of this area, the area of this triangle, that is triangle MNP, which is basically made while joining the midpoint of all the three sides of a triangle. We have to calculate the ratio of the area of this triangle and then the area of this complete bigger triangle also, and ultimately we have to calculate their ratio. Fine, students? So area of triangle MNP, let us recall the formula. Half into x1, that is into y2 minus y3 plus x2 into y3 minus y1 plus x3 into y1 minus y2 modulus closed. So we have just got the values right now. What were the values? The values of the first midpoint were 1, 0, R1, 0, N R1, 2 and P R0, 1. So as in the formula is in the form of x1, y1, x2, y2. So definitely I have to assume them. Let us assume them x1, y1 to the coordinates of point N, x2, y2 and the coordinate of point P as x3, y3. Now put the values. After putting the values, children, I have got half modulus 1 into 2 minus 1 plus 1 into 1 minus 0 plus 0 into 0 minus 2 modulus closed. Half into, this is 1 into 1 plus 1 into 1, 0 into minus 2, that would give you 0 only. So remove it, it would be 1 plus 1. This is 2, when you are going to remove this modulus sign, again 2 will come out only, divided by 2 means I have got the area of that smaller triangle which is made by joining the midpoint of the sides of a triangle is 1 square units. Now let us calculate the area of the bigger triangle whose coordinates were given in the question, and I have assumed them as x1, y1, x2, y2 and x3, y3. After putting these very values in the formula of area of triangle, I have got the result as half into 0, half modulus 0 into 1 minus 3 plus 2 into 3 plus 1 plus 0 into minus 1 modulus closed. So this is 0 into minus 2 plus 2 into 4 plus 0 into minus 2. When you know children, whenever any number is multiplied by 0, the result is 0 only. So this is 2 4s are 8 in modulus along with multiplied by half. Okay. So this is half into 8, that is 4 square unit. Now at the last we are asked in the question that we have to find out the required ratio. So ratio of the smaller triangle, that is MNP, this is the sign of ratio, this is the area of triangle MNP, then ratio area of triangle ABC. So that was 1 square unit divided by 4 square unit means we will be getting the ratio as 1:4. Correct, students? Now children, this was all about area of triangle and the problems based on it. Now I am going to take the last topic of today's lecture, that is the derivation to find the coordinates of the centroid of the triangle. Now the question arises, What do you mean by centroid? Centroid is basically that very point where all the three medians of a triangle meet with each other. Now the question arises, what do you mean by medians? Medians are basically the line segments which are drawn from any point of a triangle. You know, there are 3 points of a triangle. Either it can be drawn from A, or it can be drawn from B, or it can be drawn from C. Okay. So a line segment which is drawn from any of the vertex of a triangle and it divides the opposite side in 2 equal parts. So that particular line segment is known as the median. Here you can see that AD is the median. Okay. So when all the 3 medians are going to be intersect each other at a common point, that common point is basically known as a centroid of the triangle. I will show you the big figure for better understanding. So what is the statement for it? If A x1 comma y1, B x2 comma y2 and C x3 comma y3 are the vertices of a triangle ABC, then find the coordinates of the centroid of the triangle. Here is the figure you can see. ABC is a triangle. AD, BE and CF are the medians of the triangle. Here AD is going to divide BC in 2 equal parts. Here BE is going to divide AC in 2 equal parts. In the same manner, CF is dividing AB in 2 equal parts. Always remember one thing, children, that centroid divides the medians of a triangle in the ratio 2:1. Here you can see that G is that common point to what you can call as centroid, because all the 3 medians are going to meet with each other at this common point, that is G, and this point G is nothing but the point of division. Okay, and this G, to what I am calling as the centroid, is going to divide this complete line segment in the ratio 2:1. In the same manner, BE is also divided in the ratio 2:1. In the same manner, CF is also divided in the ratio 2:1. Don't be confused that ma'am has written here 1:2. No, we have to basically start naming it from the vertex itself. So it is median CF. Okay. So this complete CF is also going to be divided in the ratio 2:1. Correct, students? Okay. As I told you that median divides the opposite side of the triangle in 2 equal parts. So can we say that D is nothing but the midpoint of BC? In the same manner, E is also midpoint of AC and F is also the midpoint of AB. The concept of midpoint I have just explained you right now. So let us calculate the coordinate of this D point, which is actually the midpoint of BC. So it would be x2 plus x3 divided by 2, y2 plus y3 divided by 2. Fine, students? Okay. Now can't I apply section formula, because I know ratio 2:1. I know the coordinate of A as well as D. But I have to calculate the coordinate of this point of division. This is point of division actually. Okay. This is point of division also, as well as we can call it the centroid also. So actually we people are habitual to see the line segment always horizontally. So I have drawn it horizontally. So let us start its solution. Okay. In that you can better understand when I will show you the horizontal line segment. So this is solution is, let A x1 comma y1, B x2 comma y2 and C x3 comma y3 be the vertices of the triangle ABC, whose medians are AD, BE and CF respectively. Then of course D, E and F are the midpoints of BC, CA and AB respectively. Okay. I have just calculated the coordinates of point D, which is actually the midpoint of BC. Fine. So the coordinates of D point are x2 plus x3 divided by 2, y2 plus y3 divided by 2. Fine, children. Now I have drawn the line segment AD horizontally for your convenience. Okay. G is that point of division, and this G is actually the centroid. You know that centroid divides the complete line segment in the ratio 2:1. Fine. So this is 2:1. Coordinates I know. Now we have to apply section formula, because through section formula only we can calculate the coordinates of the point of division. So let us recall the formula. Here I have assumed 2 as m1 and 1 as m2. It is m1 into x2 plus m2 into x1 divided by sum of the ratio. That is m1 plus m2. This is x coordinate calculated. Now m1 into y2 plus m2 into y1 divided by m1 plus m2 again. Through this I have calculated y coordinate. So let us apply this formula to calculate the coordinates of G point, which is actually point of division as well as centroid also of the triangle. So this is 2 into x2 plus x3 upon 2, look, plus 1 into x1 upon sum of the ratio, that is 2 plus 1. This is equal to x. Let us talk about y coordinate. Y is equal to 2 into y2 plus y3 upon 2 plus y1 into 1, that is y1 only, upon again 2 plus 1. They two both are going to be cancelled over here. So children, I have got x2 plus x3 into 1, that is x2 plus x3 plus x1, because 1 into x1 will again give you x1, divided by 3. And y is equal to y2 plus y3 plus y1 divided by 3. Fine, students. So the coordinates of the centroid point of a triangle are x is equal to x2 plus x3 plus x1 upon 3. Y is equal to y2 plus y3 plus y1 upon 3. Fine, children? Okay. In the same manner, suppose if you do not want to take AD, that particular line segment. Okay, look at the previous sheet. If you do not want to take this AD to calculate the coordinates of G point, then you could take this BE also. But there you are going to calculate the coordinate of E point using midpoint formula. Okay. Suppose if you do not want to take this BE, you could go with CF also. But there you are going to calculate the coordinates of this point F, which is actually the midpoint of A as well as B. So that depends on you. Okay. Here I have written, similarly, we can calculate the coordinates of the centroid point using the line segment BE as well as CF. So thus the coordinates of the centroid are x1 plus x2 plus x3 upon 3, y1 plus y2 plus y3 upon 3. Fine, students? Sometimes children, in one marker this question is asked, like you will be having a triangle given along with all the 3 vertices and whose coordinates are also given. Then you have to, only this question will be asked that just calculate the coordinates of the centroid point. Then what you have to do? You have to pick the abscissa. Just have a look on this diagram. This is ABC. Here I have written x1 comma y1. This is x2 comma y2. And here I am writing x3 comma y3. You have to just pick the abscissa of all the 3 vertices. This is x1 plus x2 plus x3 divided by 3. Through this you will be able to calculate the abscissa of centroid point. In the same manner, pick the ordinate y1 plus y2 plus y3 upon 3. So through this you will be capable to calculate the ordinate of the centroid point. Correct, students? So that's it for the day. Now children, I have completed the complete chapter. Fine. While taking 2 summary lectures, now this is the time to get mathematics homework, as well as you please be ready for the test. So revise chapter number 7, coordinate geometry, along with HOTS and examples from NCERT, and prepare yourself for the test tomorrow. Correct, students? And don't be confused, children. Test will also be in the form of YouTube video only. Fine, students? So that's it for the day. Please like the video and do not forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.